So today we'll talk about the testing tool, or of course, software testing tool. So here I will just give you some information about the tools also, and then we will explore some tools. Okay. For some tools, I will prepare another videos that how you can use it, or yes, how you can use it. Okay, because many tools, there is many tools, and we cannot cover all the tools. Just in this class, just to understand and know different tools, different classification of tools. Okay, so the outlines, it's to know the testing tool category. We have many categories. We can say, okay, based on the price, based on the function of the tools. Here also we'll know the benefit of the tools, characteristic of good tools when you select the tools, based on what you will select as well. And then example of the testing tools, because in the beginning we'll start with just some information about the tools, and then we'll go through some tools and know how to work. So by the end, you have to understand what's supporting tools, what's also automation tools, also able to analyze the benefit and the risk of the testing tools, and be familiar with some tools. We have here a question: in what kinds of things computer is better at, better than human? Better than human. And in what kind of things human? This is just introduction about the testing, why we need testing too. Why we need testing. We can post it in chat, is okay, in Zoom. Or give your opinion now, okay, voice. Okay. Okay, someone say repetitive task. This is, you mean the computer? You mean the computer it's better? Because we have also the human is better, also the computer is better. So in repetitive task.
Be more specific.
Yes. Logic base. Okay, guys, we can see it in chat better, faster. Okay. Redefine. So what else in which lesser point of the community? Okay. Computer process flowchart faster. Flowchart. Okay, the flow you mean? Okay.
And
yes.
Computers are also good in, what do you say, doing tasks faster.
Again.
Computers are good at doing some task faster.
Yes. Faster. It's faster. Also, maybe it's efficiency also, because especially when we talking about the repetitive task. Okay, this is the human. Extract details from the abstract human. Okay, yes, because exactly this is, but there is just maybe I will say it in different way. Extract the details from the abstract information. Maybe the best thing for the computers, for the human, it's that recognize, you can see the objects, the patterns, which is it's hard for the computer. And this is maybe the idea of the artificial intelligence, how we can recognize the patterns. Computer, actually, it's best when there is some repetitive task, when we need speed up. Also, I mean, any task, it's need the speed up. Also, any task, it's require high accuracy. So that's one, it's good for computers. In human, as you say, it's pattern recognition. For example, this is quite hard for the computer to do it. But in the human, it's easily, just your friend. Then in the first time you see your friend, okay, oh, this is my friend. But for the computer, it's quite difficult. For the computer, it's quite difficult to recognize the patterns. if you need something, it's more accurate. If you need something, it's faster. So this is, we go to better to use some tools, better to use the computer, better to use the computers. And that's why here we have these tools, we need to use it. So let's see the next slide. When we talk about testing tools, of course, it's come to our minds, the automation testing, which where we use the testing tools, So in automation testing, the tools replace the human. Okay, anything is done by the human, the tools do it. So this is the automation testing. Also, without support of the tools for the human, I mean, in the manual testing, there is no need for or no support from the tools. Everything is doing by the human. So, but here, it's executing the tool exactly. I mean, for example, executing and doing some part of the software testing activities using the tools. So regarding the benefit of manual testing, one can say the disadvantage, which are not benefit. Testing or time consuming. The tool testing or manual testing is time consuming, also subjective. That means there is some error maybe, and that's why we need to use some automation tools. So for the automation testing or using the tools, it's reduce the time, also enhance the test coverage and the efficiency. So maybe it's why we go for testing tools, because the human actually, as we say, it's on the risk. I mean, if you use everything, but it's especially if there is some repetitive task, as our field, which is testing. When you test, for example, as we say, we have many inputs, and if you want to your application free of bug, you need to, or for example, test your application with more inputs. So that means you need to do the same task many times. So there is some risk to get some errors because of the human. That's why maybe the solution is automation testing. So here it's just the comparison between the testing or the automation and the manual testing in terms of tools. So here the benefit of testing tools. So guys, actually, when we talk about the tools, there is different tools. That's why in the classification you see different tools. But here we talk about in general. Also, the second point, we are not talking only about the automation. Even the manual use some testing tools. We cannot do everything manual, right? So even in manual testing, there is some tools it's used. So maybe you have some degree now, okay, maybe completely using the tools or using some tools and human as well. So in general, guys, we have here, once we use the tools, we will save the time. Okay, this is, of course, we also will save the resource, increase the testing coverage. So this is maybe the benefits of testing tools that will increase the coverage, also will increase the efficiency of our products, of the tools also, of the testing. So here also we can find the bugs. Maybe when you have now the code, and that code is already thousands of lines, it's quite difficult to go through all of these. So it will increase the coverage. Also, it's easy to find if, for example, if let's say we don't have the compiler to check your errors. So that's when even the compiler is one tool, by the way. So it's quite difficult to check everything by yourself. If you see you have now thousands of codes, and then you want to check every code, is it just not is it correct or not, just is it there is no error, no for example, the syntax only. So it's quite difficult. So finding and fixing the bugs also, it's easy using these tools. So here, guys, we talk about what the characteristic of good testing tools. So of course, the first thing, it's easy to use. Easy to use. So once your tools is easy to use, it's not your tools, the software testing tools. It's easy to use, so it will help you to maybe it's more productive. It will be more productive. So the second one, which is cross platforms. So what we mean by that, cross platforms, some tools actually is designed, for example, for only one platform. For example, for working with for example, one browser only, Chrome. Some tools is designed, for example, to work with one database, not doesn't support all the database. So once we have one tools that it's support many platform, many applications, so it's more efficient than others. You have to also consider these points. It's very important points because now when you're working with in your company, of course, the customer will not, you say the customer, please don't use only the Chrome, because we test only our application on Chrome only. No, you have to test everything. You have to test all the platform, all the database, all the operating system. So the use or the good tools should support these different, we can say different platform and application. Okay, the third one, which is the debugging facilities. Of course, this is maybe it's one very important one, which is you can debug the application. You can debug and trace any errors. The fourth one, which is the cost. Here, I don't say it's is the cost. So of course, we cannot say we want the free one always. We want the free tools, but at least we have. We can pay, but we pay reasonable, for example, price comparing with the facilities, with the features of these tools. Okay, so the tools is also the price or the cost of the tools is important. Here, supporting the record and playback. So what we mean by this, actually, many tools now, if you check the markets or even the free tools, support the record. Record means that you can record, for example, your process record. Not record. That means as you see is a video. Even some of them they give you to provide you the video, but record the step of your application, and then you can check which one it's caused the error or caused the fault. So supporting the record and playback. Okay, the last one, which is also important, which is database testing. As you know, is maybe the data. It's the most important things now in any applications. So your tools should support also the database testing. Database testing is quite difficult than others. For example, if you have you just want to test the modules or the interface, is different than the database. Database you need to test. For example, you need to after you click, the database is stored. Even some part of normal testing, which is, for example, check the validation of your input. This is also is part of the database testing. So the database or the testing, the tools should support also the database. The first classification of testing tools, we have single activity tools and multiple activity tools. Okay, so what we mean by the single, as we say, okay, the tools is designed for one purpose of testing. For example, it's designed to generate the test cases. So this is, we say, is a single activities. And the multi-activity, which is in the other side, means that the tools is designed for multi activities. For example, these tools, which is a unified function testing, very popular tools. It's used, for example, for testing management, used for recording, used for also generating the also even automation, execute the testing, the test cases. So this is multiple function, we can say. So we have now single and we have multi. So when you select your tools, you should aware about this point. Or also sometimes when you're looking for one tool, so you know that, okay, I'm looking now for one only to generate the test cases, to execute the test cases. So you are looking only for that, so you can find that, for example. Okay, here one example, for example, I do mention it, which is, for example, Genie. Genie, it's one method to generate the test cases only, Another classification here, we have testing tool can be free or not or guys, because some of them free and okay, we can say and, but okay, free and open source tool. So this is many methods now, or many tools, it's available online, and you can just get it free. And of course, this one, it will not be no support, maybe some problems with these tools, but some of them it's really good, and I use one of them, which is